Class. My name is Thomas Amon, and I am doing sex education for my persuasive speech. Here's my delivery one-page outline. Not only is it important for young adolescents to receive sex education, it is also very necessary for their future development as well. Today, I want to provide you with the information that proves that this is true. I received sex education in the 5th and 6th grade, so I have seen the pros and cons of sexual activity firsthand. The goal of most people is to be successful and provide for their families, which would make it apparent that sex education would positively affect everyone. The aims of sex education are disease prevention, pregnancy prevention, and sex education is also helpful in creating positive experiences for young people. The proper age to teach sex education to students is around 12 to 14, or the age is near puberty. Sex education involves relationship education too, which is the process of acquiring information and helps people regulate their behavior appropriately around others, as well as identify one's own sexual identity. In the September 2012 journal article written by A.J. Singular, published by Social Science and the Medicine Department, titled "Condoms Contain Worms and Cause HIV." This, however, is not true and can lead to people not practicing safe sex. Pregnancy prevention should not be overlooked, but it is caused by the lack of caring or understanding by people participating in sexual activity. There are several ways to prevent pregnancy, which can include abstinence, which is the practice of no sex at all, the use of condoms, and birth control as well. In the 2012 journal article written by A.J. Singular, published by the Social Science and Medicine Department, titled "Condoms Contain Worms and HIV." Condoms actually prevent pregnancy as well as protect the user from most sexually transmittable diseases. This is very important, I believe, and people should look to safe sex before even thinking about sex at all. It should be a practice by everyone and should never be overlooked. In the September 5th, 2012 journal article published by the Targeted News Service titled "Women in Science Speak to Talk About Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention." And this article states that boys should be coached into men, and this was actually quoted in the article, and this was a very influential quote for me, and I'm sure for other young men as well, because it teaches us to respect women and to hold women with a higher regard. To show as much respect as possible towards them. Financial struggles are also a big part of pregnancy. Whenever someone is about to have a baby, there are a lot of financial struggles that come along with that. Poverty or insufficient funds can have a negative impact on a young child. Growing up in that environment is not good or safe for a young child. So someone should consider safe sex or abstinence before engaging in any sexual activity. A child's future is very, very, very important, and living in poor situations can lead to depression and added stress. In the September 2012 journal article published by the Targeted News Service titled "Women in Science Speak to Talk About Pregnancy," and this article stated that living in these poor situations can also cause behavioral problems later on in a child's life, whether in school or outside of school. Disease prevention is also very important and should be considered before practicing sex. STD rates have grown, as well as I said before, pregnancy rates also when safe sex is not practiced. There are several types of diseases that can affect a sexually active person. which includes HIV and AIDS and also gonorrhea. In the June 10th, 2005 journal article written by Thomas Quinn, published by the American Association for the Advancement of Science, titled HIV/AIDS in Women is an Expanding Epidemic. And I would have to agree with this because I've heard plenty of rumors and people talking about STDs and stuff like that. Whether they're true or not, it's still a realistic possibility for anyone. And the article also states that women are using more contraceptives today rather than condoms, which isn't always the safe route. Using a condom is the most effective way to prevent disease. Condoms are easily accessible, cheap, and semi-reliable, but you must be careful. Sex education is very important and cannot be overlooked by the future generations that are to come. Without sex education in schools today, birth rates will almost certainly climb, as well as the rates of sexually transmitted diseases. As a community, we should do our best to educate age-appropriate adolescents about sex, and educators should stress the importance of sex education as well as pregnancy prevention and disease prevention.